It's a custom in Cakes and Bakers Foods to always create a magazine at the end of each year, and for this year ending 2022, the managing director, Jacob Ebo, has considered you as best for this project. However, Jacob Ebo has requested a 2-page sample of the magazine for him to present to the board of directors. You are to specifically create a table of content page and any other page of the magazine.
Welcome to part 2 on our project for Mr. Abel Jacobs. So on completion of the first page, which is the table of contents, we want to move on to creating any other page for us to submit a sample for Mr. Jacob Abels. So I'll go ahead and add page. So on adding page, this is what I have for my page. I don't want the background to be of this color, so I'll select the background, go back to my color and choose a plain color, white preferably. Then my ruler still remains here, showing me the center of this particular design, so I'll still leave it that way. So I want to go ahead. I have a particular design in mind that I want to use for this second page. So what I'll do is, I want my text to be consistent across all of the pages. So I'll go to table of contents, I'll copy this, I'll select this, then copy. So just hit Ctrl C or copy from here. So I'll copy this. After copying this, I'll come over to page 2, select page 2, then paste it. So I can just go ahead and right click, paste. So I've pasted that here now. But for this, I don't want it to still be table of contents. It's a different page. So let's assume for this particular cake company, they have a particular text which will be added to the module. So on that particular course page, you see this particular content added as a Microsoft Word document. So you can copy it from there. So for this, I'll edit this text. So I'll change it to 100% natural. Okay, I'm okay with this. So I want to go ahead and start working with every other part of this design. Like I said, I want consistency across all my documents. So I still want to use the same fonts I use for the body here. Remember, in the body here, in the heading here, we use Arbutus Lab. So that's still what I want to use. So I can go ahead and still use the same thing. So I'll go to my body text here. I'll add the text, letter T. I'll change it to, okay, still remaining at Arbutus Lab. So I'll change the text inside. So let me zoom into this so that we'll be able to relate with it better. So I'll change this to, so let me move this beneath this. So probably this is the person in the editorial crew that worked on this particular content. So beside that, before I start moving on with other part of my design, I want to add some other designs there. Before I start moving to the text precisely, I want to add other designs there. So I'll go over to my rectangle tool, letter R, then change this to a circle. On that shape, I'll change it to a circle. I'll bring it to the top here and scale. So let's see, I'll scale it this big. I want it to be big, and then be by one top corner here. Okay, so I want to duplicate this particular shape. So it's either I duplicate using the duplicate option here, that is the duplicate option for this particular shape, that's at the top here, or you just hold down Alt and drag if you are on a system, or copy if you are using a mobile phone. So I'll leave this way. I'll make this one a little bit bigger. So let's say something like this. So this is what I have. So for this in particular, I want to change the color to the other color we have in our design. That's the pink. So I'm not seeing the color here, so I'll move over to the top page and I'll go and select that color. Click on this. I'll use my eyedropper tool, pick a color from design. Then I want to come and pick this color. Yes. So you can see that that color has been applied down here. so it has been applied to that shape down here. So I'm okay with this. So at the same time, I want to take this, I want to duplicate it as well. I would hold down Alt and duplicate, or just use the duplicate option here. So this has been duplicated. The color, I'll change it to no fill. I don't want a color inside, so I'll change it this way. You wouldn't see anything when you do that, but I want to give it an outline. Under outline are just like borders around the shape, so I can decide to give it an outline like this, making it look like this, and I can decide to scale this further. So I'll just make this bigger than the previous one and then move it around it this way. But notwithstanding, my outline, I don't want my outline to be this way. I want the outline, I'll go back to the outline border style and then make it to be dotted, this, something like this. So I'm pretty okay with this now. Okay, so that's done. Another thing I also want to do is just a simple design, just to brighten up your creativity. So for this, I'll leave it this way and I'll go and bring in a frame. So under elements, I'll type in frame, or you just use the frame option at the top. So I want to use a circle frame, so I'll vote that in. This is it here. I want to bring in an image to this, so the frame will be here. Let me scale up the frame a little bit, something like this. Okay, I'm okay with this. Let me make it a bit bigger. Okay, I'll make the frame a bit bigger this way, and I'll make it to be behind and in the front of the other shape, the shape just peeping at the top a little bit. So for this frame, I want to bring in some images into this. So I'll go to my, I can use the element as well, so I'll type in cake colored. Okay, let's say I'll go ahead with this. I think this is still much having a brighter color, so I'll drop it inside the frame. And for this, remember you can double click on the frame to edit the placement of the image. So I'll scale this image this way and I would exit this. I'll hit done. So I'm pretty okay with this. So with this done, let's assume I'm done with the basic design for this. I want to add in text. So I'll go to my text tool, letter T. I want to add text. So this is the text I want to add. For the text, I also want it to be of several lines, because it's more of the content of the paragraph now that I want to add into this. So I'll scale this, let's say somewhere to this point, and I'll give the alignment to be left. So Arbutus Lab, I'm okay with this. So I'll go and bring in the text I want to type into this. So from the document attached to this particular slide, I'll just copy all of this way, Ctrl C, then come over to this, come and paste it, Ctrl V. So this is what we have from this. So all of these text as well, Ctrl A. I want to reduce the size to 11. So there should be paragraph at some point. Natural ingredients of the highest fine quality, flour, whatever. So I'll add a paragraph here. That's by hitting enter. A paragraph here, then a paragraph here. So I'm pretty okay with this. So let's say I'll jack all of my items towards the left a little bit, something like this. Then the same thing for this. Yes, so that they will start at the same point, and notwithstanding a little bit different from each other. So this is what I have. So let's assume it's the same content that will also be by this side. So I'll just hold down Alt and then drag this way. So let's say this time a little bit downward. So this is what we would have from this. For this, I'll change this to, I'll change the color, change it to one of my theme color, 100% natural. And for this text, I want to give it a background, a shadow effect, then shadow effect. So I'll add a shadow to it and modify the transparencies. So I'll make it to be transparent. The shadow color, I'll change it to black. and then the transparencies, I'll leave it this way. The blur, I'll increase the blur a little bit, something like this. I'll leave the offset as it is and the direction. Okay, so I'm pretty okay with this. So I can go ahead and bring in another text to the bottom here. So let's say I'll just copy this other text here, and that's holding down Alt and copying it down here. So I'll drag this object, this text, drag it down here. So let's say this one will be here, but this time around it won't be 100% natural, it will be natural ingredients. So but for the text, I don't want it to be at the same hierarchy with the heading of the page. Remember what we discussed about hierarchy. So I'll make it come down, maybe like this is 32, so let's say 24. Yeah, so that the hierarchy will still be maintained, meaning that that one is at the higher hierarchy compared to this. So for this one at 24, I'll change the color to this other color here, natural ingredients. Then I can decide to remove the shadow for this effect, then none. Okay, with that completed, I can go ahead and add some other things to this. So let's assume I want to add some element just to spice it up like that. So I'll go ahead and add let's say let's use dotted shapes. I'm not searching photos now, I'm searching graphics. Dotted shapes are the graphics. Okay, so let's say I'll make use of this. Yeah, I'm okay with this. I'll drag it this way and then scale it downward. Let's say something like this. I'll make it a kind of placeholder for the page number. So let's say something like this. I'll change this other color to a theme color that way, and then change the numbering. So just use my text tool to bring numbering on this. So I'll go to text, letter T, then bring this down here. So for this particular text, I'll change the number to, let's say this should be page 02, page 2. I'll change the font size, let's say something like 32. Oh, that might be too big, 24, and then move it in here. So this is what we have. I'm okay with this. I can still decide to spice this up a little bit more. So let's say for this now, I can decide to put a text inside this. So I'll go ahead and type a text. So for this text, I'll make it your health are priority. So I'll bring it to the top here. And for this, I want to increase the font size to something around 18. Okay. Oh, I typed it wrongly, so I'll type it all in uppercase. Then I want to wrap this. I'll go to effect. I'm not adding any of this effect. The shape effect, curve, I'll just add a curve effect. But for this curve effect now, if you go down, you see how you want it to curve. So I want it to curve the other way around. That is this way. Okay, let's say something like this. And I want to rotate it around this and move it this way. So I want to rotate it around that particular shape so I can still curve it more. So let's say something like this. Okay, I'll decrease the font size a little bit more, 22, and adjust the curve. Okay, I'm okay with this. Then I'll rotate it a little bit. Some parts of the text is almost falling out. something like this, then move it this way. So if I'm done, I can just go ahead and save this. So that is all on this. So I want you to practice this out and drop your submission in